Virgo, welcome back to Steampunk Psyche. If you are a returning subscriber, you have my love. I appreciate you so much for coming back. If you're brand new to the channel or just cross-watching, I'm JT. Like I always say, sometimes these cards, they line up with our energies and sometimes they don't. Don't hate the reader. I'm just trying to give you as many explanations of the cards that I possibly can, okay? Do keep in mind that I always put haiku poems right before your reading starts, okay? All right, I'll give you the down low. We'll shuffle up and talk about your categories. We're going to see what's going to shake loose in Virgo energy this week. Virgo, I wish for you in this reading clarity, peace, hope, connections, divine timing, understanding. People around you begin to understand who you are. You're declaring your sovereignty, your space. You're determining your direction. I've already pre-shuffled the cards, but for transparency's sake, I've shuffled for you. We'll talk about these categories as we go. We have your current energy. Nice start. Love it. Crossing challenge. We have the foundation. We got a king in there. Awesome. We have the recent past. We have the possibilities. The near future. Some more king action. Okay. We have the self. I love it already. We have the environment. The hopes, fears, wishes, or worries. And the outcome and the direction. Virgo, this is going to be a kick-ass reading. Hey, listen, I'm going to take a look at these cards, and while I'm doing that, I have your brand new poems from Haiku Corner. I'll be right back. Okay, Virgo, I've taken a look at your cards. We've got the Three of Cups in your present energy. For some of you, this may resonate with last week's reading. If you have not seen that video, check it out. I'll leave it, the video description at the end of this video. But I feel like somebody's coming back. And I believe the video was like, you both want this, and there was something else underneath that. But just check it out. Anyway, we're going to talk about this reading. I feel like it may be um, somebody's coming back around. Last week, they may have been a little hesitant. This week's different. We're going to talk about it. We've got this Three of Cups energy, okay? And this tells me right here, this is somebody somebody's dancing around. They got songs from the past going on. I'm just going to throw this up there for you. Um, yeah, this is the person you pull up to at a stoplight, they're jamming and you're just pissed because they're so freaking happy. This is you, Virgo. This is clarity. This is a moment, okay? That's last week's energy, this week's energy. It's reconnection. It's the possibility card here, okay? Um, it's not the possibility anymore. I feel like it's happening in real time for some of you, okay? This is someone barging back into your life dramatically, okay, and not in an intense way. There is a little bit of bite and teeth into this reading, but I'm going to go over that with you. But I'm talking about, this is somebody who's definitely, they're in your socials, they're in your dreams. This is the heart, the laugh, the song lyrics, everything. This is a, I'm going to send you that TikTok, I'm going to send you that Facebook. I'm going to send you some kind of something that is kind of basically that soft confession for you. Okay. This is I've been asking mutual friends about you, how you been. This is bringing up an inside joke. That may have happened months ago for some of you. Like I don't know, maybe there is some songs that are tied to a memory of this particular person. But this is feminine energy. This is, I want to reconnect emotionally. Okay, this is the masculine energy who wants to check in, but down deep, they want you by their side. They want that closeness too. Okay. So this is the group chat, that it becomes active again. It's definitely got reconnection, okay, happening. For some of you, this could look like a holiday event that's coming up, or a family gathering, a social event, some kind of a, outdoor event or something, where there may be some kind of a connection. That may be relevant to some of you, okay? But it's definitely the beginning, the movement, it's not the ending, okay? All right, we're going to take a look at the challenge card. The crossing challenge, you got the Hanged Man. We could be talking about Pisces energy here. Somebody could be dealing with Pisces, don't have to be, but could be. And look, I'm going to give you the grain here, okay? Take it with a grain of glitter. I'm just saying, last week the emotional block may have been fear for some of you, okay? Or for some of them, for that person or your person, okay? It's that longing, the hesitation that's mixed in with that. They're not stuck anymore. They're just cautious, okay? When we go into the hanged man scenario, this is an intentional hanging. We do this to ourselves. It's because, I'm typing a message, I'm deleting a message, and then I'm going to send you something short and make sure it's the right thing. This is over and over and over again in their head, right? But they want to say more, okay? And so they do that, hold back a little bit. And I don't know, they're watching you. They're watching everything you do instantly, okay? But they're just kind of holding back, so I feel like maybe this is because they're afraid of misreading your signals, okay? They're afraid of, repeating something that they may have done in the past, or I don't know, waiting for that right moment, right? Even though that moment doesn't exist in your timeline, right? It's just now is the moment, but this is just afraid of misreading it, okay? And I feel like they're scared of being vulnerable first here, maybe, okay? It's this is the delaying of the message or something like that. They're just kind of like thawing out, right? But slowly in your eyes. Okay, we're going to move on though. We're talking about in the foundation, we've got this King of Cups energy. This is last week hinted at, that emotional depth, but I feel like this week confirms it. The King of Cups is the grounded emotionally, okay? This person feels way more than they're showing, but this person remembers all the details, that you forgot you told them. So keep that in mind, in conversations or in those texts or something like that, that may come up, right? They're asking how you've been, maybe in a way that feels a little more deeper than casual for some of you. It's that, I don't know, they get quiet when they care too much. You could be in a conversation with some people and a conversation starts to go over, maybe a little hint of jealousy there. Okay. It's like, they really don't have nothing to say about when you talk about that other fellow or that, masculine or whatever. We don't have to use, this doesn't have to be gender specific, you guys. I use those, I interlace those in there. Okay. We know we both have a balance of both masculine and feminine energy. So just take what applies here. But that could be that, jealous behind the calmness, right? Anyway, for some of you, you could be seeing synchronicities. You may resonate with like the spirit animal, the deer here. Okay, that is a sign of softness. That's a sign of opening up. It's tender, right? So maybe they're soft with you in ways that they aren't with others. Okay, so somebody could be resonating with that deer. Okay, this is the confession that's coming in. And I feel like it may be during like some kind of a major emotional or a major event, maybe at the time when the scene heightens or something. That's when they use that moment to, they break the silence, right? It's always been about love. It's always been, they're interested in you. So that's the perfect timing, right? Okay, here we go. We're going to talk about this recent past, and we've got this Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands energy. Some of you could be dealing with fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Don't have to be, but you could be. But I'm just saying that this is synchronicities. Somebody is definitely seeing synchronicities. This week it's got different movement. You could be seeing like 717, okay? Kind of representing that that message coming in. There's a sharp message coming in. There's a spark, the shift, I feel like this week we're going to see the aftermath, something moved. Even if it was small. Some of you are like, nah, I don't even know, We don't know what's taking place behind the scenes, right? This could have been a small, like a message that came in faster than usual. Okay. A longer message than somebody normally does, opening up just like a little bit, more than maybe you expected. For some, it could look like, they just came right out and flirted with you. It was subtle, right? But unmistakable. That was a flirt. I get it. It's like, I don't know. For some of you, that synchronicity, you're seeing that 717, maybe you did that, or maybe you see that number or think of that number, when you think about that person. Okay. This is asking you a personal question. This is checking in after that little bit of silence for some of you. I feel like there's a 3 to 6 week kind of a time frame within this. Okay. This is definitely momentum. There's that pause, and then that momentum's picking up. It's the pause here is not like regression. It's kind of more like this person is integrating everything. And I feel like you are too. Okay. All right. We're going to move on. We're going to talk about the possibilities, and we've got the strength card. For some of you, you could be dealing with Leo in your timeline here. You don't have to be, but you could be. Last week, Virgo, the possibility was, about emotional courage. And here we go, right? This week, I feel like this is about emotional honesty here. Okay. This is somebody admitting something to you. It's powerful though. It's maybe small, but it's very meaningful. Okay. And so this person could look like definitely softening around you, maybe asking, I don't know, asking for your opinion or something personal. Okay. It's got, I don't know, kudos to the masculine, right? It's showing vulnerability and maybe a moment of stress. You know how tough it is when you want to say something to that person, and you just like fumble over your words or stumble. But I feel like this is going to be a little more, that vulnerability is going to lessen that. Okay. And so I think you're going to pick up on that. So that feminine is definitely going to feel kind of this boost of confidence here. All right. I don't know. For some of you, there could be synchronicities around like bracelets, or I don't know, wrist jewelry, rings. You could be seeing like, you're walking by the storefront, you see that perfect bracelet, that perfect ring, whatever it is, where you just gotta, I just need that. I want that. Or some of you are getting on Amazon and checking it out, right? What it's talking about here, and I think if you'll use that as a synchronicity, it's talking about like a sign of connection. Okay. But this is I'm not going to pretend I don't care anymore. So there's definitely a breakthrough within this, and it's anytime the weather shifts here on this, you're realizing you're not afraid of being chosen anymore. Okay. We're going to talk about the near future. This is why I can be so confident about that. Strength represents the confidence in this. You've got the Knight of Cups coming up here. Okay. Look, I'm going to say this with care, right? I'm going to give it to you again, nice and soft, nice and easy. Last week, this was a potential. This week, it's trajectory. Okay. So this is someone that's stepping forward, and they're not going to do it in a dramatic way. Even though the Knight of Cups is definitely that type of energy that kind of rushes in, pulls forward. But I think what you're going to see in this is more of the authentic approach. Okay. This is that, that note that's going to feel, I don't know, maybe a little too flat. Maybe they're about to ask you if you want to meet up, or it's like, hey, let's go for a ride, let's go for a drive, or let's, take a walk, or, pull you aside at lunch, whatever it is, however, and whoever you're around, and whatever that scenery may look like, right? But this is opening up, and maybe they're going to apologize, for being distant, right? And it's not going to feel prompted here. You know what I mean? I feel like they're about to share something vulnerable with you, and so I don't know, you're going to feel, I don't know, you might feel something like goosebumps or flesh or kind of a tension in your body, right before you get this message. So I want to know in the comments when this happens, if that happens like that. Okay. That would be really cool to share with this community. Okay. Synchronicities, the goosebumps, goose flesh, that type of deal. So anyway, I just feel like this is, you're going to feel emotionally chosen with this Knight of Cups energy. Okay. But we're going to take a look at the self. It just keeps coming. The momentum is building and building and building here. This is the 6 of Wands energy. Last week, this was your past, okay? And then this week, it's your identity, You're stepping into that confidence era, this is the victory card, maybe you're getting a lot more attention online. Like I said, you could have posted something, that really got, a deep reflection. Some of you could be having like your own YouTube channel, your own, just trying to grow your appearance on social media, something like that. But this was kind of a glow up moment here, right? And that energy, that momentum still lingering in you. So The masculine energy is definitely, I'm admiring you from afar. This is people who are witnessing your blow up, your glow up stage, right? So the feminine energy is, it could look like just definitely, I'm inspired by you, okay? And so for some of you, you could have synchronicities around like the raven, okay? The raven, if you're into spirit animals, the raven represents kind of like that personal power, okay? They are very intuitive, very smart animals. So I'm just saying, uh, you could be having those synchronicities around that, but this is being noticed, okay? This is being noticed like at work, socially. This is talking about breakthroughs that's happening or are about to happen, and I feel like this is, like I said, there's a 3 to 6 week time frame here. For some of you, this could be very significant, okay? But this is becoming magnetic, okay? All right, we're going to move on. We're going to talk about this environment. Once again, going to need you to take it with a grain of glitter. Last week, this was, this was somebody's fear last week, okay? And this week, I feel like it may be somebody's protective instinct. Now, whether that's you or whether that's your person or the situationship, whatever this is that's coming towards you, they're not defensive, like, because they don't care about the situation. I think they're putting on that protective defense because they care way too much. Now, we're going to talk about it. This talks about, the jealousy that they're hiding. Okay. They don't want you to know that, they're watching your content and they're not interacting with you because, right, they're building they're building the portfolio here. And I'm not talking about in some kind of weird perverted way here. I'm just talking about, when you get, suggested videos to you or about relationships or anything like that, they want to know what the signs are. They don't want to lose you. They fear the competition. They fear, being vulnerable. Okay. So this could look like that coworker. Okay. Maybe there's a competition with you or something, but somebody may feel a little threatened by your glow up, also here. But I'm just saying there's a shift that's happening or happens, during some kind of that, like I said, emotional conversation or something. But somebody wants you, okay? But it's got that intensity in it. So I think they kind of just, they're kind of protective in those boundaries here, all right? We're going to talk about the hopes, fears, wishes, or worries. Okay, we got this Page of Swords. Um, as far as last week was concerned, this was kind of like their foundation, and this week, this might be their fear. Okay, they're watching, they're curious, they're scared, right? But they're stalking your social media hella more, and I think you know this intuitively, right? Replaying the old stories, checking your profile, definitely it's got, I'm overthinking what to say. For some of you, um, synchronicities around like ringing in the ears, okay? These are signs. The universe is kind of like saying, hey, you've got an energy in your presence that really wants to speak to you, okay? Um, and you may understand that rejection. You may completely know what that's about, right? And so to me, I'm kind of looking at it as a fear that they may be like trying to, as they're looking, they might be misreading you, okay? And so they don't want to repeat any of the the old conversations, the old patterns, right? Some of you could be having like deja vu at this time, okay? But someone's definitely curious, but they have that terrified kind of situation. Now, look, this next card, the Moon's going to poke an old bruise. I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off because the outcome last week was emotional truth, right? And here we got the Moon again. So the outcome is the emotional truth that's about to be revealed. This is not the negative card, okay? So T incoming, right? Someone is about to admit to you they were scared. That's that conversation I was trying to tell you with that King of Cups kind of energy. You could be mirroring this same type of energy back and forth, both of you. So the masculine energy would look like, confessing the feelings. The feminine energy, comes forward and admits the longing that's in this situation, right? So definitely a secret is about to come to light here. For some of you, you could be having dreams, that kind of reveal this truth. So that intuition kicks in, like I said, that misunderstanding that's about to clear up. This is definitely clarity arriving. Okay. For some of you, this could be, as we approach the next moon phase shift. So, take a gander at the night sky, pay attention where it's at. You can look that up on the internet, find out when the next moon For some of you, you're about to shave up. The moon phase shift, okay, whenever that takes place, all right, and I feel like this is going to help you understand the intention here, okay? This is definitely a sign. You know, the major arcana moon also, you could be dealing with a Pisces here energy. You don't have to be, but you could be. So yeah, what I'm getting at is definitely this, you know, someone who was kind of frozen in the fear of last week, right? I feel like they're thawing out. Yes, slowly. Be patient. The moon is not fast and not quick. It just shines the light, you know, on the the subtle confession. It shines the light on the emotional softness and where it's at. So this is definitely the desire to reconnect here, you know. And so this week it's not about like predicting that. It's about the progression. This storyline is definitely moving forward here. Okay, you know, the truth is rising. The emotional blocks, I think, are going to start to crack loose for you. Okay, so you know, this is confidence, visibility, everything. You're not chasing, you're just attracting all this attention to yourself by staying in your lane. Virgo, it's a beautiful reading. I appreciate it. If you got confirmation or clarity from it, give it a thumbs up, would you? Give some love to this reader. This is a beautiful reading, and I feel like I said, it's kind of a continuation. So hopefully somebody chimes with it. I'm going to leave that video for last week at the end of this video, so check it out. Anyway, Virgo, I love you. I respect you. I hope it was confirmation, clarity for others. Anyway, we'll see you on the next readings, okay? All right. Bye-bye.